At the time you were working with them, we've had Marty in studio many times. Who was the better wrestler in your mind at that point, Jannetty or Michaels?
Two great wrestlers. One. It's a little bit like Raymond and I. Like Raymond and I, we can't compare who was the best. We were just complementary to each other. Like Shawn Michaels, charismatic, the really good-looking guy. The girls really high-flying, backflips off the top rope and stuff. And Marty, what a ground wrestler, like my brother Raymond. You can have the best house on the hill, the most beautiful house on the hill, but if you don't have a good foundation, you don't have a good house. It's going to fall apart. And so Marty, for me, was such a pleasure to work with him too. Like, night after night working, going around the world with these guys and having 20, 25-minute matches, 30-minute matches, marathon matches for an hour. And we did a whole week of marathon matches. And even one day we were in Europe and there's 6 hours difference. So we had a marathon match in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. We took a 6-hour flight and we had a 7 o'clock in Philadelphia, another marathon match, another hour match, 2 in one day. You could only do that with great workers. And so if you ask me who was the best wrestler between the both, they were both extraordinary.
It's a choice between Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, I guess, as far as their mat ability. All right. How about, let me see here. I wanted to take a look at something that I was looking at before. You mentioned your brother. Now, your brother is a mayor, as we spoke about before the show came on. Could you tell us how this comes about, and did you even have a clue that he was going to turn out being a mayor?
Well, Raymond's been in politics, I think, for 20 years. He was who do you call the people that come at the municipal meeting there that support the mayor? Like there's 6, 7 of them. It's like and Raymond was one of those, or conseiller that we say in French. But so he worked with the old mayors for 20 years, I think, but always there just a second. Raymond's such a smart person. He's financially so wealthy, and he always, he's so smart in business. He was really well drilled by my dad and my uncle. He was a listener, a learner, and he did all that. A great wrestler. And then one day, I don't know, I guess it's probably the people that he worked with in the town that he lived that probably said, because he's so well organized. And so they probably told him like, hey, maybe you should be mayor, and it just so happened, and I thought it was funny, because I thought of Jesse the Body Ventura, and I thought a couple of people like that. I never pictured my brother to be a mayor, but he's doing such a great job. It's it's incredible how he has the visibility he has, there's a catastrophe or something in our little town, in a little town of, I don't know, I'm going to say a crazy number here, 10,000 people, and the province is 9 million people. But in that little 10,000 people, if there's a little flood or something, there's flood everywhere in Quebec, but they're going to come to see Raymond because he speaks so well and he has such a nice French, and he's so educated, well educated. So everybody loved Raymond. It's funny. So of course he's got a couple of haters, I'm sure, but he's a Rougeau. But anyway, but I have to say, everybody loves Raymond. If you go on podcasts, you hear podcasts of the wrestlers, they all speak so highly of Raymond. He was so smart. I remember, this is funny because I remember a lot of times, we weren't happy or something, and then I tell Raymond, driving down the car or something, I said, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to go see Vince. And Raymond looked at me and says, oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. If there was something there, we had to move around there or shake up a bit. There, go ahead. And he was a smart one, And but he was, but I laughed today because it's funny. Life is life. But Raymond, I'm so proud of him. I really am. And it's so funny because on the last show on the 4th of June of the quarterfinals, QT Marshall was going to Mexico because the AEW were opening Mexico that night, so he couldn't be in the giant screen. So I asked my brother Raymond to be the judge, on the giant screen, and that was just so awesome. We hadn't worked together in 20 years on a wrestling show, Raymond and I. So I'm doing the commentaries with a couple of guys, the winner of last year, Jeremy Prophet, and another guy, Michel Monette. And then we'd give our commentaries after each match, and then the matches, they stand up and they look at the screen, and here comes the big giant screen, and there my brother Raymond appears, and he surprised me so much because, I put him there as a judge, a replacement judge, And now I don't want to kick QT Marshall out because I get the 3 months at the Nightmare Factory, but Raymond was so good because he's such a good basic wrestler, and he's so smart. So he had the way of to make every wrestler feel great and having a hard decision to make. And everybody in the fans and everybody was looking at the screen like waiting to see his decision because he had so many compliments to give to each. And it was amazing working with Raymond like that.